rhyme's getting tighter.
Money.
I love my money.
Money. Money.
I love my money.
Money. Money.
I love my money.
Money. Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Hicks and this is To Your Success. I have a special guest today, and I say special because baby, if you need the moolah, if you need the money, and it's free, no debt, no equity, it's free money, you need to see this guy. This is Greg Hebert. Greg, how are you?
Pretty good, Joe. Thanks for having me on the show.
No worries. Greg does grants, and there's so many awesome opportunities for people out there in all walks of life that want to start a business, that want to grow a business, that want to do different things within a business that's existing. So it covers a ton of different aspects of business. But you need to contact Greg. I'll put his contact information down in the description below. But this is the guy. It's not easy as a startup or even an existing company who's trying to get traction. We all know that. And so trying to raise capital or get the money to market effectively, for operation, for supply, for whatever you need it for, it's not always easy. And what Greg does, he does grants. And there are so many different grants out there that for people who qualify. And I tell you what, if you can breathe, you probably qualify. But let me backtrack just a little bit and step off this box and let Greg take it from here. Greg, tell me a little bit about who you are and how you got to be where you're at.
Well, I have, first of all, my background. I have a law degree from Pepperdine University School of Law. I've worked
The Wave,
exactly, very good, in Malibu, California, a very beautiful place, of course. And from there, I had several jobs in corporations, and I worked at Deloitte as a senior manager in their consulting group in their downtown Los Angeles office, and traveled around the United States. I ended up working in the Office of General Counsel for Honeywell for several years, and 6 years ago, we started our consulting firm, Kelsey Thomas Consulting. Kelsey's my daughter, Tommy's my son. And so that's basically who I am, at least my background. And again, we started the firm about 6 years ago.
Perfect, perfect. Now, what can you tell people out there as far as someone who's trying to raise capital for and it's not just startup, it's existing companies who are trying to get the traction and build their clientele and build the revenues and things like that. Right. Who qualifies for a grant?
Who qualifies for a grant? We work with both small businesses and nonprofits for grants. Those are the two big areas or types of entities that qualify for a lot of grants. Let's talk about small businesses mainly though today. And who qualifies for grants? Virtually anybody, unless it's a franchise business like a McDonald's or something. They wouldn't have any grants. But our businesses, our small business entrepreneurs, are women-owned businesses. Any small business owner, if you will, or group. We have businesses up to 5 or 6 or 17 million that are in engineering services firms that have maybe 40, 50 employees or larger. And we have individual entrepreneurships, women-owned businesses, for example, Hispanic, veteran-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses. We even have a storyteller, and many artists apply for grants for us or with us. That's our client base. It's very diverse, very large, and we are not only an Arizona firm. We have clients nationally and internationally in in Canada and in as far away as India.
Wow! Did you hear that? It's everywhere. If you need money, see this guy. Awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the process of a grant. Now, what I like that you do specifically is that you sit down with a client and you say, okay, what do you have? What type of company? Blah blah. You ask all these questions, and then you look for a specific grant.
Precisely. We are different from, there are a couple other grant writers out there. We are very different, and what we do is we start at the beginning, excuse me, and we find the grants for our clients. So the client will come to us, and we're mainly on referral right now. The client will come to us, and what we'll do is we'll have a discussion. We want to understand what is the nature of that client's business. But not only what are they doing statically, we would like to understand how is it that they want to grow? What different marketplaces, do they want to enter into? What are the needs? Is it operating costs? Is it equipment? Is it a building? Is it extra staff, extra marketing? All those things. We want to understand essentially if you were to receive $5, $10, $15,000 or $100,000 or $250,000 or $1.5 million that we've received, our clients have received in grants, how would you spend it? We want to understand that. And a lot of it is dreaming a little bit, but maybe, or it's out of their business plan or their strategic plan. Mm-hmm. So we sit down, we have that discussion with them. Then we go through a matching process to look for the grants for them and build a great matrix of maybe 4 or 5, 6 pages of 20 or 30 grants that we find. Now, why is that important? It's important because we will match the client to the grants that we're out there looking, as opposed to others that may just help you write. We'll do that process. That's the first step, and the second step is selecting, and then the third step is we help write those grants.
Wow. So how long does it take from start to finish? Because I think some people get a little,
right.
They think, oh gosh, if I go see Greg, if I can fill it out, I'll have it the next day. So how long does the process usually last?
It's neither. It's neither a very short process, neither does it need to be a very lengthy process. And as far as, good question, and it's a great question, one we get asked all the time. How long would it take us, to go through this process, Greg? Well, the answer is short or long, and that if that's a factor for their client, they were looking for grants that have short term, we can get to them easily, quickly. Well, then that's what we do in our search. We find those. How long does it take? It usually takes, after we get started writing a grant, it usually takes maybe several weeks to actually write that. We work with the client to get those out the door, and then we get it out in time. The grantors, sometimes they set deadlines when they want to have them in, sometimes they don't. And then there's a several-week process after that where they're evaluating whether we should get it or not. That's about how long it takes.
Okay. Well, and from a standpoint of the process of raising capital through a VC or a family fund or angel investor, it's a long process.
It's a long, and that's a good point. And that's where usually our clients are comparing, or we actually recommend they look at all three. The different ways, or actually there's 4 potential ways to raise revenue. One is generically through the revenue that's created through the business. The other is to going out to get loans and borrowing the money from a bank or some financial institution. Another way is to go to investors, or what they call VCs. Sometimes they could be private or maybe even a quasi-public entity to provide funding. And then the last one, or not the last one, we think the best one, are grants. And we compare those. Now the process and expenditures that go into even getting a loan or VC often requires that you create a lot of extensive and detailed financial paperwork, and you're probably going to have to pay somebody a lot of money or a certain amount of money to get that done, and it does take a certain period of time. With grants, it's a very short process. It's a matter of quickly, quite frankly, meeting with us, sitting down and talking to us, and then coming to a selection process and then shooting the grants out. That can be done as short as 2 weeks and exceedingly inexpensively.
Perfect. What are your goals? What are your goals for your company, and where would you like to go? And again, goals can be personal, they can be the business, they can be combination of what. But what are your goals?
And I'm going to give you an answer as a combination. But the goal of our firm is to, quite frankly, get relatively large. We have several staff. We're prepared to grow very quickly, and we want to do that. We also want to maintain quality at the same time with growth. We get a lot of referrals, and we're going to use those and continue to grow the firm. We're going to hire extra staff. My goals on a personal basis are to create enough revenue that our firm and myself can give back to the community. And when I mean give back, we want to start our own nonprofits to give back to our community, and we want to use a significant amount of the revenue that's created in our firm and tie that and allocate a percentage of that to nonprofits or to other beneficiaries. In fact, we oftentimes ask our clients, do they have a particular place that our firm can contribute to? We're on the board of several nonprofits, but we want to grow our firm. But mostly we're in a space, and we like what we do for a living, if you will, because we are able to create growth, a great amount of growth, for our clients. And that's really our number one goal. Our number one goal is to help our clients grow, to get revenue, because you're always going to need money and financing to grow any entity, and what better way to do that than through a cash grant?
I like that. I like that aspect of giving back. I think it's so imperative that we do that. You know, we've been blessed so much to get things, and it's just paying it forward and giving it back. That's awesome. So, as an entrepreneur, as being out on your own, is there a particular entrepreneur out there, a particular person that you look at and say, boy, if I could just do half of what that person did, I'd be successful? Is there someone you follow, someone as a mentor, or just that you look up to?
There's a lot of them out there that, you know, I enjoy. They basically have the same, I say they're cut from the same cloth as mindset as we have. There's a couple. One, Sir Richard Branson is Virgin Records, Virgin Airways.
Right.
But I like him because, first of all, he never seemed to want to take no for an answer. He was always trying, very hard working. He ran against some barriers against British Airways and the government there, actually trying to prevent him from growing up, and he fought through that, and then after a while was welcomed in. But he's also an overachiever, works very, very hard. He's on doing space programs. He's did a lot of different things. The other one is Bill Gates. Bill Gates. Why, Greg? Well, Bill Gates set his goals very, very high, higher than anybody would even imagine, and actually went out and worked real hard and achieved those goals. Now, however, after he's achieved those goals, he's in the process of doing what? Giving back. And that's, again, the same process that we'd like to go through and are going through right now. He's got a very large foundation. He gives back a lot of money and does a lot of good work with the money that he's created.
Wow. All right, this question is really important to me, and I think it's important to the people who watch the show. And that is, what advice do you give entrepreneurs?
Couple different things. One, as if you're starting out or in the process of starting out, is this going to involve risk taking? If that's not part of your DNA, this may not be a type of career that you might want to get involved in. On the other hand, the rewards can be exceedingly large. The other thing is it's going to be a lot of hard work. I read something the other day, and this is an extreme, so it's not necessarily I sign up to. Someone asked a multimillionaire who started his own business, and he became a millionaire relatively quickly, what's your recommendation about this? He said, well, it's a 9-to-5 job. And they said, a 9-to-5 job? And he said, yeah, I work 95 hours a week. And now that's maybe an extreme, but what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is this is going to require a lot of energy. However, guess what? When you're doing your own business, that energy should be driven by passion. Have passion for your entrepreneur, your enterprise, and you pour that into that. The other one is, and this is a key thing, get good advice. Do not try to do this on your own. Surround yourself with excellent advice. Take it and act on it. Be very careful on who you select, but select carefully. Get the best experts you can find and surround yourself with a core group of excellent advice and listen to them. A couple other things, believe in yourself. You're not going to be very successful or go very far or get people to want your services or purchase your product because they need to believe in you, and you can only believe in you if you strongly believe in yourself. You have to get up every single morning and say, I can do this, and I'm important, and I'm really, really good. That is a great way to start every day, and you have to live that every single day.
Great advice. Greg, thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you so much. Oh, I'm Joe Hicks. This is Greg Hebert, and this is To Your Success. And don't forget to subscribe. And one of the things I have found out recently is that people think a subscription or subscribing to a YouTube channel costs money. It doesn't cost anything. Press the button. That's all you need to do, right? Press the subscribe button and you're subscribed. All right, guys, take care, and we'll talk to you next time.
Take care.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.